This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Brennan likes fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans.
Welcome to Markin Out, Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. This is episode 787. Thanks for listening. Make sure you check us out, markinout.com. Also, wherever you are listening to your podcast, give us a 5-star rating to go with that 5-star frog splash, such as on good old Spotify. Buy a t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/markinout. You can give us a like on Facebook. Also, give us a follow on TikTok at markinout, and on Twitter at markinout, and on Instagram at markinout11. And you can follow me on all social media platforms at DavidPTDPT. That's right, it's Dave the Rave. You can follow Chris at CMSweeney85 on Instagram and Chris Sweendog on Twitter. And you can follow Brandon at BTTG161. Brandon, how are you?
I am doing awesome as always. How about yourself?
Nice. Doing good. How was your week?
It was pretty okay. I got to see the SpaceX launch. That launched from Florida. And I don't think I've ever been able to see that from New York before, so that was really cool.
Yeah, it's such an incredible sight to see. You know?
Because I've never seen one before, I don't know what I'm looking for. And then once you see it, it's like, oh, you're obviously, that's what it is. That's it.
Yeah.
But I remember...
Yeah, it's wild.
I remember NASA was going to, like, launch a spaceship a bunch of years ago, and I had planned to watch it. And then, because of weather, it got delayed. Bad weather in Florida, it was delayed. They canceled the launch, and then the postponed date, it was all cloudy here, so I never got to see that. And when they launched that SpaceX gimmick, it was clear skies, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I actually got to see it while I was in Anaheim, which was really incredible. I got to see it a little bit more close too, which was nice.
Yeah, I just wish, I don't know why people were able to get videos and stuff. I wish I was able to get a video on my phone. I was able to get not better pictures, but because iPhone, like, they light up the sky and everything, they completely change it to make it not look like pitch black. I was able to get a decent subpar photo of the rocket ship or whatever you call. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
But how was your week?
My week was good. Very busy. Actually trying to do this thing called getting to sleep early. So trying that out. Been going to bed around 10:30.
That's not early.
10:30 to 11:30. Yeah,
that's not early at all.
Yeah, early for me.
Early for you, but it's still that's not early.
Yeah, I know. I got to start somewhere. But yeah, week was good. We had a pay-per-view that took place. Elimination Chamber, though.
It's a premium live event, pal.
Yeah. Kicked off with Rhea Ripley picking up the victory over Alexa Bliss, Kiana James, Asuka, Tiffany Stratton, and Raquel Rodriguez to win the Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley, I think this is 7 years in a row that she's going to be in a championship match at WrestleMania.
Something like that. It led to a bunch of online bullying, which I don't think is deserved. I think that's gross behavior from people. But
not needed.
The Chamber match itself started. Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton, I think they had good back and forth. And then Asuka was out next. Kiana James attacked her right away in the pod. I like that. It didn't last long where Asuka was able to take over. But Alexa Bliss got in there. I feel like when she got in there, I feel like she didn't really do much.
Yeah, I feel like Alexa Bliss is sometimes just there.
And then Rhea Ripley got in there. She, completely took over.
Yeah.
But Alexa Bliss did hit the Twisted Bliss onto, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, I believe it was.
Yeah, she got her moves in there before being eliminated.
Yeah, she went for that Sister Abigail DDT, and then Asuka hit the mist in the face, and Kiana James actually eliminated Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, Kiana James had a few eliminations, I believe, in this elimination chamber.
I don't think so.
No, was that her only one?
Yeah, because Raquel was out last, and she like completely took over like Rhea Ripley did, and she put Kiana James through one of the pod windows with the running power slam, and then she hit the Tejana bomb onto Asuka, onto Kiana James, and pinned both of them and took them out.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was really happy that Kiana at least picked up a pin.
Rhea Ripley hit that cannonball off the top of the pod. That was kind of out of nowhere. I like that. Mm-hmm. Tiffany Stratton hit the moonsault on Raquel, but she ends up getting her nose busted open at some point. I think it was from the electric chair drop that Rhea Ripley did. And when she went for that prettiest moonsault ever, Rhea Ripley threw her into that pod. She hit the Riptide, got the victory. My pick to win that match was Tiffany Stratton. But I'm fine seeing Rhea Ripley. Where she goes from there, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
okay with
we already
Rhea
know
Ripley.
come the time this is released.
Yeah, I'm fine with Rhea picking up the victory, especially because guess what? She is super over.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you put?
But also,
one of your most
let's not
super
say
over
Tiffany
people
Stratton's not
in-
super over as well, because Tiffany Stratton is super over as well.
Yeah, but I don't think she's as over as Rhea Ripley.
Only one way to get there, though. You got to push them.
Yeah, but Rhea Ripley picks up the victory. Next up, you had AJ Lee pick up the victory over Becky Lynch to become the new Intercontinental Champion.
Popped me big time that Jessica Carr was the referee here.
Yeah.
And I think
Good
the match was what I was expecting from it.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch eventually took that turnbuckle pad off, and she threw AJ into Jessica Carr when she was turned away, when she was trying to deal with that. She then got knocked out, and AJ made... I keep wanting to say AJ Styles. AJ made Becky Lynch
That's what I think
tap
Michael
out.
Cole did.
Yeah. He said something else, too. I forget what. But she made Becky Lynch tap out there. Obviously, Jessica Carr was down. Becky Lynch goes out, gets a chair. She actually DDT'd AJ Lee onto... I almost did it again. She DDT'd AJ onto that chair, which I wasn't expecting that to actually connect. I just thought AJ was going to reverse it. She hit the manhandle slam. And I was like, oh, well, I guess we're not getting a new champion. AJ kicked out of that. And then Jessica Carr stopped Becky Lynch from using the exposed turnbuckle. But Becky Lynch, when I think AJ was kicking out of a pin, she sent Becky into that exposed turnbuckle. And then she locked in the Black Widow and got the victory there.
Yeah,
I was happy with that
huge
outcome.
pop with the fans.
And when Becky Lynch won that Intercontinental Championship that first time, and she's like putting everybody over, or not really, I mean, working with everybody, I should say, or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think we could. I don't know I hope we could see something like that with this run.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Next
After
up,
that, we saw.
Punk.
Yeah, we saw CM Punk pick up the victory over Finn Balor to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk came out with that Chicago Bulls gimmick, or Ricky Steamboat, depending on who you are.
Ricky Steamboat?
Yeah, that was his theme song.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know. To me, that's Chicago Bulls.
Or Ricky Steamboat, depending on who you are.
Never Ricky. That's Chicago.
Yeah,
That's
CM
Michael
Punk
Jordan.
even said it was a tribute to Ricky Steamboat, not Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. He did mention Ricky Steamboat, though. He did make mention of that, so it's not like it's lost on there.
I mean, if you're doing it in Chicago, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, Chicago, Ricky Steamboat. But I thought this was a pretty good match, pretty even. CM Punk, also somebody that got busted open on that event. I liked when CM Punk went for the sharpshooter and he couldn't get it in, so he went and locked in the Anaconda Vice. I like that little transition there. And then eventually hit the GTS. Finn Balor rolls out of the ring. Balor drop kicked CM Punk through the barricade. Went for another coup de grace in the ring. And CM Punk locked in the sharpshooter. I thought that was a really nice transition there as well.
I agree with you. I thought that this was a solid match, solid showing for Finn Balor. That transition was incredible, and it was a good match.
Yeah, and then CM Punk obviously hits another GTS, gets the victory there. Finn Balor shook CM Punk's hand afterwards. I thought we were going to maybe see something on Monday Night Raw where he gets, like, scolded for that, but that didn't happen. Not to push ahead there yet, but I feel like that could eventually get him kicked out of the Judgment Day. AJ and CM Punk celebrated to end that segment. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, agreed.
Afterwards, we had the giant crate that was shipped from Raw to SmackDown to Raw to SmackDown to Elimination Chamber. And Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce, they pried open the crate to reveal a coffin. And then a bunch of Ghoulhausen showed up, and Danhausen showed up. People booed at the end when the lights went out.
I was fully entertained by this the entire time.
Oh, he also, by the way,
was
gave
fun.
Michael Cole teeth. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought this was great.
Yeah, I mean, given you can always make the argument that people in the crowd or whatever may have not been familiar with Danhausen, because not everybody watches AEW. So you could make that argument, but I think that this was so pure entertainment, and it was awesome.
Also, I wasn't around for the gobbledygooker. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
like, I don't know how many fans that gimmick has out there, but I'm one of them, and I don't know. I think I don't know what, like, how long the buildup was for that. Obviously, Undertaker was worried it was going to be him. So, if something like that happened, it would have sucked. I said the other week, though, I don't think Danhausen is big enough to have been, like, shipped from week to week.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it was an entertaining segment, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you.
Main event saw the Viper Randy Orton pick up the victory over LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Logan Paul in the Elimination Chamber. Get his shot at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes and Javon Evans started this match, and Javon Evans got a lot in. He got a lot in this match. Trick Williams was out next. I like that the double bookend spot that Trick Williams did to both of them. That Michael Cole, I don't know why he doesn't call it bookends ever. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he always calls it a choke slam.
Mm-hmm.
But Logan Paul was out next. He got beat down by the three of them. LA Knight was in after that. He went after Logan Paul. LA Knight and Javon Evans beat Logan Paul up on the top of the pod. And they ended up tossing him onto Trick and Cody. I thought that was fun. I thought the BFT spot looked like they got lucky. I feel like there wasn't enough room up there to hit the actual BFT that LA Knight hit on Javon.
Yeah.
But Randy Orton was in the chamber last. Javon hit a frog splash off the pod to Trick Williams. Logan Paul, though, hits the pulverizer on him and gets Javon Evans out. He took out LA Knight. He stole the pin from Cody Rhodes and took Trick Williams out. And then the masked man showed up, climbed the cage. Security gets him away. Another masked man shows up, takes Logan Paul out with the stomp. Cody eliminates Logan Paul. The masked man reveals who we all thought was going to be revealed in the first place, Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes.
And then Drew McIntyre clocked Cody Rhodes with the WWE Championship. He missed the Claymore, got the upper hand, and Randy Orton ends up taking him out and took Cody Rhodes out with an RKO.
I thought that overall this match was a lot of fun. I was really surprised that Randy Orton picked up the victory at the end of it. I mean, and the way that he did it was just he outsmarted Cody Rhodes.
I don't know if it's outsmarted. I mean, they were distracted. He hit the
took
RKO on
advantage of
Drew, and then Cody did the crossroads to Drew to take him completely out of the match, and then boom, no hesitation,
Exactly.
RKO. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I would say
and then Nick Aldis
got right in there.
Yeah, and Nick Aldis ends up yelling at Drew McIntyre afterwards and sets up a title match, which I'll talk about any moment.
Yeah. So that was Elimination Chamber.
Monday Night Raw kicked off with a vision where Paul Heyman said that Seth Rollins stole the main event of WrestleMania from Logan Paul. I think that was said that the 3 eliminations were supposed to be Bronson Reed's, which would obviously make sense there. And I think kind of makes Logan Paul, the way that they did it, make him look like a chicken heel. So I was fine with him having those eliminations.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And Paul Heyman said that the next time Seth Rollins is in the ring, they're going to stomp him out. And then Austin Theory spoke. Logan Paul spoke. Logan super fired up. He's like, the last person to do what I did inside the Elimination Chamber was Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. And he called Seth Rollins out. Adam Pearce shows up with security. Blamed them for Jey Uso's attack the other week on SmackDown. And Paul Heyman said that it wasn't them. And then Adam Pearce was like, well, I need to have a conversation with Seth Rollins because he's not medically cleared. Basically wants Monday Night Raw all under control. A masked man shows up, gets chased off. Another one shows up, gets chased off by Logan Paul. A third one shows up, chased off by Austin Theory.
I mean, you kind of saw the trend right now.
And then a fourth one showed up. It was Seth Rollins from behind, smacked Paul Heyman with the chair. Somewhat full circle from WrestleMania last year. Also, same exact arena where they did this to the Shield in 2014. I believe this was the same arena where the Shield was formed.
Wow.
And then Seth Rollins stomped Paul Heyman.
Yeah, this was a solid intro.
And then they cut backstage after commercial. Paul Heyman's gushing blood in an ambulance. Jimmy Uso shows up out of nowhere. He attacks Austin Theory. LA Knight ends up being the ambulance driver. That popped me big time. I clapped. I thought that was great. Where they took him to, or where LA Knight took Paul Heyman, we don't know. We have to find out.
We're going to find out. But next up, you had Gunther pick up the victory over Dragon Lee. This was a solid back and forth matchup. Dragon Lee really gave Gunther a huge fight, but just wasn't enough.
But he went in there right. Even he attacked Gunther during his entrance.
Yeah.
Gunther, like you said though, dominant in the match. Dragon Lee had his momentum in this though. And Gunther powerbombed Dragon Lee on the apron, powerbombed him onto the commentary table, and he went back out. Dragon Lee somehow pulled out a sunset flip. He hits the Operation Dragon outside. A lot more. Gunther ends up locking him in a sleeper, though. Takes his mask off. Big hot topic on the internet this week. And then he held on to the sleeper a bit after the match was done.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where but what was very interesting is he pulls off the mask. Right away, they called the match. Right away, they called the match up. He tapped out right when that mask got pulled off of him. For maybe 1 second, you actually see Dragon Lee's face. But then after that, what I actually liked is that they cut to a far away distance shot and kind of showing the arena and stuff like that, where they didn't actually show you the ringside. They threw the towel in, they covered up Dragon Lee. But that entire time, I thought it was really nice that they didn't show what was taking place in the ring up close and that they kept the cameras far away. I thought that was pretty good.
I don't think people should have screenshotted the face to post.
I mean, that's honestly, that's I don't know what people expected from
Like
people.
fans, like, fine. I don't think people who are writers of the pro wrestling industry, I don't think that should have been done.
Yeah, I don't think that it was really necessary. I mean,
No.
But on the other hand, WWE, if they didn't want that to be seen, they should have done.
It was
been
a
little
split
bit more
second.
careful.
You had to go back and pause it, get to the right frame.
I don't think that it was really that split of a second because I was able to see it for that moment too, and I didn't pause it.
I went back and watched it over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a split second, but you could still see his face. I mean, but I think that if WWE didn't want that to really get let out there, they should have been more careful.
But after that, we had AJ Lee. She thanked the fans. She spoke about Becky Lynch. She moved on to talk about WrestleMania and said that she's not waiting for WrestleMania. So it seems like we are getting, like I said before, that fighting champion. And she wants to be a fighting champion. She doesn't want to waste time. Lays out an open challenge for next week, and she'll be in the ring waiting. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we're going to get that. I think it's not next week. I think she just said the next time she's in the ring. But next week we're going to have a match because later on, Liv told Raquel Rodriguez that could be her ticket to WrestleMania and to talk to Adam Pearce. And then later on, also after that, Lyra told Bayley that it could be her way to WrestleMania. And Bayley's like, I cost you the title. We should both speak to Adam Pearce. Io ends up walking out of Adam Pearce's office. And then it was announced that we're getting a match with all of them, as well as Asuka and Ivy Nile, to determine the next challenger.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Bayley and Lyra will end up in a tag team title match at WrestleMania.
It's possible.
So, who will see challenge AJ from that? I don't... I feel like it has to be Raquel.
Maybe.
But I don't think that'll be her WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Next up, you had El Grande Americano Original pick up the victory over Rayo. Fast-paced match. It was good.
I think Rayo got more than I expected to see in this, which was great to see. But Bravo got involved. El Grande Americano got involved. Americano hit the headbutt. And he ends up... El Grande Americano Original kicked out of that. And they got involved again, but it led to Original picking up that victory and walking out. I think everything that they did backstage with them was funny too, because on AAA, it's like the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. On AAA, Original showed up wearing a black mask. On Monday Night Raw, it was El Grande Americano who showed up in a black mask. So it's like they're both portraying heels, but like not at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After that, we had Rusev kind of hijack the show. They were showing a video of Obafemi versus The Miz, and Rusev interrupted it, and he calls out Obafemi, and he told him he doesn't want to wait or whatever, and Obafemi shows up, told him get in the ring, let's make something happen, and they end up throwing hands.
I thought this was very entertaining.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah, same. Next up, you had Jimmy Uso pick up the victory over Austin Theory, but it was by disqualification. I gotta be honest, this match didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. Jimmy, by the way, didn't even show up with his tag title. Where the hell was that?
Yeah.
He went to put Austin Theory through the commentary table. Logan Paul showed up. Jay showed up on crutches, and from behind, they used the crutches on them. I think the Vision need to take the titles from the Usos at WrestleMania.
I agree.
After that, Rhea Ripley was interviewed, and Jackie Redmond asked Rhea Ripley about Jade Cargill, and Rhea said that it sucked losing the tag titles, but she thanked Io for everything. In that moment, I was like, it's kind of turning into a Johnny Gargano Ciampa situation. I don't know, she's getting like way too close to Io here. Thankfully, it didn't happen. Io told her she'll be fine on Monday Night Raw. You go get that title. You win at WrestleMania. And Rhea Ripley said she'll be showing up on SmackDown, so I'll put a pin in that. Earlier in the night, we had a backstage segment where Danhausen was part of it, and he had a bunch of demands for Adam Pearce. The Judgment Day walked by, and Adam Pearce tried to, pawn him off onto them. He's like, no, wait, you guys got to meet Danhausen. And they met, and Danhausen ends up cursing Dominic Mysterio.
I mean, once he did this, you knew that's it.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think his curses have ever really worked, so. But maybe. I think when that happened, I was like, we're 100% about to get a new champion.
Mm-hmm.
Main event, Penta picked up the victory over Dominic Mysterio, got that Intercontinental Championship.
He's buried. Yeah. Penta's buried. He debuted a year ago. He's buried.
And now he's the Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm. This was incredible to see, you know?
It was a pretty even match, too.
Yeah, very entertaining, very fun. A great main event matchup.
When Penta caught that frog splash with the sacrifice, I thought that was awesome. He hit the Penta
that was
driver.
Very smooth.
Yeah, he hit the Penta driver, which Dom kicked out of. I think that was unexpected. And then Dom asked for the Judgment Day. They were sitting ringside. He asked for the hammer. JD got it. And Finn Balor takes it away to a huge pop. And he told him, Dom said he wants to do it himself. And Dom is like, yes, I want to do it myself with the hammer, basically. And Balor wasn't allowing that to happen. And Penta took them out. Dom ends up missing the 619. And eventually Penta hits the Destroyer and gets the victory.
Yeah, great celebration for Penta.
Yeah. And then to close out Monday Night Raw, you had Roman Reigns, immediately interrupted by CM Punk. They went back and forth, which to me, it felt a bit high school for the stuff Roman Reigns was doing.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that Roman Reigns was saying didn't really make me care about the match. I think Punk was good. I think the Sika line was too much for me.
Me too. That I was just like, why? He's a face. Why does he have to say that?
I didn't get it.
To be edgy?
Because what's the end game of that? Next week, Roman Reigns is like Larry. Like, is that what we're leading to?
I don't know. That was stupid.
And I know that the women had a lot of segments on Monday Night Raw. I feel like there needed to be a women's match.
Yeah, I agree.
But that was Monday Night Raw. Moving over to NXT, which kicked off with the brand new North American champion, Miles Bourne, who thanked Ethan Page for not believing in him, because it helped him believe in himself and get that victory. And then Ethan Page came out, focused on Miles thanking him, and it led to a rematch challenge, and Ethan Page wanted it on NXT, and Robert Stone was like, no, you guys aren't even in gear. And then I guess they kind of convinced him to do it, and he sets it right there, and they're literally wrestling in their suits.
Which I thought was really cool. I don't think we've ever seen something like that happen before.
We might have seen that. We might have seen it, but it's so rare.
Yeah, not like an actual matchup, though. Like, usually if that's done, it's like
at least once.
I feel like if we've seen it once, it's like a quick roll-up pin for someone. I don't know if we've actually seen a full-fledged match. I was happy with this.
I think that's how I saw Roddy Piper beat The Miz, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Miles Bourne picked up the victory over Ethan Page, retaining the North American Championship. I really liked that aspect of it, that they were ultimately not ready to go. And their clothes all got torn up. Ethan Page used his belt buckle at one point behind the referee's back, which Bourne kicked out of. And then Bourne ends up using Ethan Page's shoe behind the referee's back. He hits Bourne again, gets that victory. I was happy with that. And then later on, Tavion Heights and Charlie Dempsey were talking. Miles Bourne showed up, and Tavion Heights was happy for Miles becoming the North American champion. He left. Charlie Dempsey was disappointed that they haven't done anything since both of them left the No Quarter Catch crew. And then that Generation group showed up. They tried to get Charlie Dempsey to join them. And Heights is like, you can't. There's no way you could do this. Spoiler alert, David Finley's not coming.
Yeah. Disappointing.
I think he chose wrong.
I mean, we know we did.
After that, we had a segment with Blake Monroe where she spoke about Jada Parker. And she said that she realized Jada needs her to be relevant. And she said that she's going to win at Vengeance Day, go to Stand and Deliver. And then Jada Parker came out and said that Blake Monroe hates that she's relevant because it's what Blake Monroe wants. And Blake is the one that needs her so she doesn't fade into the background. This turned physical, and Jada Parker got the upper hand there. I honestly don't know who's going to win at Vengeance Day there.
It's tough to tell, but I really like this brawl, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But next up, you had Ren Sinclair pick up the victory over Nikita Lyons to advance in the Speed Tournament. Solid matchup, very fast.
Yeah, they did a lot in this. And honestly, I was leaning more towards Ren, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Nikita Lyons was the one that won. Because I really think this match could have gone either way. But with like 5 seconds left, Ren was able to get that tap out with the cattle mutilation and get the victory there. I thought this was
Does she actually call it the cattle mutilation?
Cattle mutilation. Part of me wants to say her name is worked into that title.
Oh, gotcha.
But I thought this was a very well done Speed Tournament match and probably one of my favorite Speed matches. So, after that, Kalani Jordan was in a video package training for her upcoming match, her upcoming Underground match with Shayna Baszler. I thought that was cool to see.
Yeah, it's very cool to see her being used a lot with NXT.
It's annoying, though, because she's like not a WWE employee, but she might be. And
no, she's under contract.
So why isn't she in the video game still? That's garbage.
That I don't know. Yeah, I'm almost positive she said on CVV that she's actually under contract with NXT and she's helping, like, she pops in to them in Florida and she'll, like, actually follow production, more so learning the production side of things, and then also helping with training.
And then later on, we had a doctor speak to Lola Vice, and the doctor was like, you shouldn't really work that Underground match. You could really, really mess up your wrist. It'll lead to more damage.
Which, spoiler.
Well, spoiler what?
I mean, it's probably going to happen. Foreshadowing?
I don't know. I took it as the opposite of that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that was pure foreshadowing. All right, we'll see.
We had a face-to-face segment with Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley before their match at Vengeance Day, which was a very interesting thing to see, considering the last time that we saw them, they almost brawled. And they were just sitting there, kind of like politely talking to one another.
Nah.
But Tatum Paxley said that when she takes the title from Izzy, she'll understand what it meant to be played with.
It was interesting to see this and then everything that was happening with Blake Monroe and Jada the entire time. You know? But it was very entertaining.
Yeah, and Tatum walked off and Izzy she took the doll's head off and then she destroyed the dollhouse.
Yeah. Next up, you had Shiloh Hill and Hank and Tank pick up the victory over Vanity Project. Shiloh Hill is very entertaining, and I'm impressed with his ring stuff.
Yeah. And this, I thought we would see the Vanity Project win this. They attacked the faces during their entrance. I think the most
so too,
random,
especially with the tag team championship win.
the most random part of this was Keanu Carver showing up to yell at Booker T. Mm-hmm. Telling him to keep his name out of his boy's mouth or whatever. Or telling him to keep his name out of his boy's mouth. Yeah, and Booker T's like, I have no idea what he's talking about. But I guess it was alluded to Jasper Troy.
Yeah, I did like the end of it. Well, after the match, though.
The match itself was very chaotic. Mm-hmm. And that burning hammer that Jackson Drake hit on Hank, I thought looked very impressive. And then that boss man slam that Hank hit, I thought was great. The ending was cool. Hank and Tank dove to the outside. Shiloh ran up the steps to spear Jackson Drake and get that victory there.
Yeah.
And that's when Blake Monroe showed up. She's like, it ends at Vengeance Day. Later on, she said this, and that turned into a fight, a brawl between her and Jada Parker. That was broken up by Hank and Tank and Shiloh Hill. So we'll get a street fight between them.
Yeah, that was just fun.
Backstage, there was a segment with Dark State where Osiris Griffin was taken out, and he said it was Tony D'Angelo, so Dion Lennox went to the ring to call Tony out, and Tony showed up in the crowd and blamed him for his downfall. And he said that he's more dangerous now, and he's doing what he said he was going to do. He's taking out Dark State one by one. And the last one to be taken out is Dion Lennox. So, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Main event.
Yeah, JC Jane and Zarya going to a no contest, which I feel like I'm okay with it because it's hard to see. I feel like both of these wrestlers need the win coming out of this.
Yeah, I thought this was an entertaining match also.
Agreed.
I really liked when JC Jane went for that rolling encore. She turned right into a spear from Zarya. Zarya then went for the F5 and JC got out of it and hit the rolling encore. But Sol Ruka showed up. She takes out Fatal Influence. She hits the Soul Snatcher on both JC Jane and Zarya at the same time. And I think that'll be the triple threat match we'll see at Stand and Deliver.
I could see that.
And then to close NXT, there was sort of a rock concert. Ricky Saints came out, and he said because people love Joe Hendry's concert, he wanted to do one. I was like, I didn't even know Ricky Saints played guitar, sang, whatever. And then he starts performing, and I was like, oh, that's why I didn't know. But Booker T singing along to this, that popped me. He had a stagehand helping him out, and it turned out the stagehand was Joe Hendry. And he ends up smashing a guitar over Ricky Saints. He went for the standing ovation, but the Vanity Project jumped him, and then Miles Bourne ran down to help out. And they took out the Vanity Project together and stood tall. A lot of people on Twitter were trashing this segment. I thought this was a fine segment. Maybe it went a little too long with the Ricky Saints gimmick, the concert, but...
Yeah, apparently it was so bad that they even took it off of the YouTube.
I don't think that's true.
That's what I saw. I saw apparently they took it off of the Ricky Saints off of the YouTube, or they cut it out or something.
I don't think that's true.
All right.
Let's see. Ricky Saints WWE full segment. Look at that. There it is.
There you go. Well, you do have Vengeance Day taking place in Orlando, Florida at the Performance Center. And let's start with not that match. Parking lot brawl. We'll start there. Tony D'Angelo taking on Dion Lennox. I don't think we're going to have an outcome.
First of
I'm
all,
going to say no contest.
that's not possible. But when the hell did that become a parking lot brawl?
I don't know.
I don't recall ever seeing that being a parking lot brawl. I'm going to say Tony D'Angelo walks out there, though. I think he's the one winning. You can't no contest a parking lot brawl.
I don't know. I'm going with it. I'm going with no contest.
Street fight, Blake Monroe, Jada Parker.
Might as well just be a parking lot brawl.
It's tough to say. I'm going to say Blake Monroe.
I'm going to go Jada Parker.
NXT Underground, Lola
Underground.
Vice, Kalani Jordan. I'm saying Lola Vice. You're saying Kalani Jordan, aren't you?
Yeah. NXT Women's North American Championship on the line. Izzy Dame taking on Tatum Paxley. I think I'm going to go Paxley.
I'm going to say Tatum Paxley as well. I would have liked to have seen more from Izzy Dame from this run, but I don't know. I feel, unless something else is going to happen, but I feel like it has to be Tatum Paxley.
Yeah, I agree.
Main event, I assume. NXT Championship on the line. Ricky Saints looking to win that NXT Championship from the champion Joe Hendry. I'm saying Joe Hendry.
I'm going to go with Joe Hendry as well.
So that's Vengeance Day. Going to move over to SmackDown. It kicked off with Randy Orton, and he spoke about his past manias and how he's only main evented twice out of 20 WrestleManias. And he said there's no guarantee that you'll ever make it to WrestleMania or main event, but now he will be. He kept talking, the lights go out, Trick Williams shows up, and he said that he should be in the main event of WrestleMania. And then he ends up eating an RKO. I thought this was a good segment. You had Carmelo Hayes pick up the victory over El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. to retain the U.S. Championship. They played a hype video for Dr. Wagner, which I think was very welcomed, especially if you don't know who he is. There were, unfortunately, a lot of miscommunications, it seemed. So, it sucked, but it was awesome to see him on SmackDown. I wish it was better. But, and I also wish Santos Escobar played a factor in that segment. I'm surprised. Well, I don't know if I should say I'm surprised, but I feel like he should have, given stuff going on in AAA. But as we see on Monday Night Raw, everything in AAA is not everything on the main roster. Ilya Dragunov was interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly afterwards, and Miz was annoyed that Ilya Dragunov turned down his the challenge from Carmelo Hayes last week. Kit Wilson showed up, and Miz told Kit this is his opportunity. When Dragunov walked off, it seemed like he's about to go get a match set up. We saw the Irresistible Forces Championship celebration. Nia Jax said that all the challengers are welcomed, but it won't matter because they're going to be the champions regardless. Charlexa came out and said that they only lost the titles to the Kabuki Warriors because they were the ones that got involved. They interfered in their matches. And then Julia and Kiana James came out. Julia said they're walking into Vegas with the titles. So Nick Aldis sets up a title, I don't think this was a contendership match or anything, but sets up a match. Charlexa picked up the victory over Julia and Kiana James, and I desperately need Julia to have matches for the U.S. Championship. I need a division for the U.S. Championship. I enjoyed this match, but we really need a reason to have that U.S. Championship. Most of this match kind of seemed like it was during commercial breaks, but I still, like I said, I enjoyed it. Charlotte hit the moonsault onto both Julia and Kiana James at the same time. Surprisingly, the match kept going. I think it was an obvious outcome, though. We saw the Judgment Day win a gauntlet match to become number one contenders. Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium started this match. That was awesome. And I thought maybe Motor City Machine Guns would move on Alex Shelley got Chris Sabin's foot on the rope. The referee just couldn't see it, so that led to Fraxium moving on to face Los Garza. Los Garza came into the match fired up. And I actually thought Fraxium was about to move on, but Los Garza picked up the victory there. Los Garza then beat the Wyatt Six, which I think you'd have to expect for the Wyatt Six to move on there. But Los Garza, I think they did a good job at holding the ring. It's not like they ultimately won, I would say, because the MFT showed up. But I feel like they deserve credit there. And then later on, Bo Dallas warned Solo Sikoa. But the last match in this gauntlet saw the Judgment Day pick up the victory. The Judgment Day, I say, it's Damian Priest and R-Truth picked up the victory over Los Garza. R-Truth, of course, still using a bunch of John Cena moves. I liked when Damian Priest and R-Truth both hit the bell claps on Los Garza. And then R-Truth hit the attitude adjustment on Angel. Damian Priest hit the South of Heaven on Humberto. They picked up the victory. It was fun to see them actually on the same page on a team. We had Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill have a face-to-face. Jade Cargill said that she respects Rhea Ripley. She respects her muscles and everything, but she's better. And Rhea Ripley said that may be true, but if Jade Cargill hits her with her best shot, she's not staying down. And if she hits Jade Cargill with her best shot, there's no way Jade Cargill's getting up. So, and she said Jade Cargill's basically built for show. Hers is for fighting. Decent segment. Good heat. Does it push to WrestleMania? Not quite yet. Johnny Gargano had a segment backstage. He's obviously laid out, and Alex Shelley spoke to him. Chris Sabin got annoyed that he, instead of speaking to him about their match, their loss, went to Johnny Gargano. So he pulled him away from that. And then Candice LeRae fired Johnny Gargano up, and he went to the ring, and he said that it's time for everyone to remember that he's Johnny Wrestling. Laid out an open challenge. It was Obafemi, and Obafemi crushed him. Backstage, Danhausen had a list of demands for Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis pawned him off onto The Miz, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. And Miz was like, I'm not mentoring you. And Danhausen's like, if you don't, you're cursed. And he reminded him about Dominic Mysterio. I thought that was a great segment. Backstage, things got heated earlier in the night between Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. Sami really seems like he's days away from snapping. And he spoke to Cody Rhodes. He spoke later on to Randy Orton. Randy Orton said sometimes you have to be selfish. Listen to the voices in your head. I feel like you should have listened to Karrion Kross. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega were also involved in that segment, basically continuing his story with Randy Orton. And the main event of SmackDown saw Cody Rhodes pick up the victory over Drew McIntyre to become the new WWE champion. Honestly, I feel like it could have gone either way. There was somebody posted a thing saying Triple H sent out the graphic for Cody versus Orton earlier in the day and quickly deleted it. I don't know if that's true or not. But Drew McIntyre went to walk off. Cody went after him. They fought outside quite a few times in this match. And I liked when Drew McIntyre hit that sidewalk slam on the apron. He walked Cody Rhodes up the steps. I thought that was pretty cool. But Drew McIntyre targeted Cody's arm throughout the match. Cody went for a crossroads on the commentary table. McIntyre got out of it. The table collapses. They set up another table. Drew powerbombs him through it. Drew in the ring hits a crossroads. Cody reverses a Claymore and then hits a Claymore of his own. Charles Robinson at one point almost gets taken out. He didn't. And then Drew McIntyre pulls him in front of a disaster kick to actually take him out. Cody hit a crossroads, calls for another referee. Drew rocks him with a Claymore. Cody kicks out. And McIntyre, Dan Engler was the referee that came out. McIntyre was pissed off at him. He rocked him with a Glasgow kiss. McIntyre grabbed a chair. Jacob Fatu showed up, ripped it away from him. Cody moved from another Claymore, hit a Cody cutter, hit the crossroads, gets the victory. And I honestly, I just don't understand. I don't think Cody Rhodes needed this. I don't understand why not just do that 5-pack challenge at WrestleMania. Why? How could, it was right there. You wrote this story for months. Drew McIntyre walking into WrestleMania as champion versus Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn versus Jacob Fatu. The story has been written for months. I don't understand that pivot, as they say. I did not understand that whatsoever. So now we're getting Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, unless things change and we do get a 5-pack, 4-pack, whatever you want to say, fatal 4-way, 5-way. I just, I would have preferred to see Drew McIntyre walk into Mania as champion. But that is SmackDown. I'm going to take a quick little break, and I'll be right back here on Markin Out.
Hello, this is Danhausen with a message from Chris Hausen to Brandon Hausen. Yes, Brandon of the Markin Out podcast, Danhausen has one thing to say to you. Take a guess. That's right. Up yours, Brandon Hausen. Love that Danhausen. You must tell them all to love that Danhausen.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out episode 787. Moving over to AAA from last week, El Grande Americano came out and he spoke about Americano Original. They cut backstage to Pimpy as an interviewer who was going to interview Americano Original to see if he actually could speak Spanish. He ends up attacking Pimpy. I'll put a pin in that. You had Dragon Lee pick up the victory over Jack Cartwheel to become number one contender. This was a very fun match. They had a lot of good reversals. When Dragon Lee hit that Liger Bomb, I thought that was going to be the end of the match. And then I thought the Styles Clash was going to be the end of the match. It was an Operation Dragon to end the actual match, but TJ Perkins showed up afterwards and said that Dragon Lee's number 2 behind him because Laredo Kid cheated last week. Laredo Kid then showed up and they all end up hitting one another. Jack Cartwheel was actually the one that came out on top there and held up the championship. You had El Grande Americano pick up the victory over Ethan Page, Omos, and El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. to qualify for the Rey de Reyes. Pimpy was getting carted into an ambulance, asked Americano to fill in because Pimpy was supposed to be in this match, but Americano stepped in. Ethan Page right away removed himself from the start, sat in the crowd for a bit, and when he got back into the ring, I guess he brokered a deal with Omos, which really didn't last long. You had Americano reverse Ego's Edge. Ethan Page stayed on that, though. And then Santos Escobar showed up. And he cost Dr. Wagner Jr., or El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. the match. They brawled to the back. Los Americanos showed up to fight Omos. They end up cuffing him to the ring post. And then Americano loads up his mask. Page almost got him. But Americano, he makes Ethan Page tapped out. The referee was knocked out, though. And Americano Original showed up with a chair. He takes out Los Americanos. Ethan Page hits the Ego's Edge. Almost wins again. But Americano kicked out. He wanted the chair. La Parka then wrestled it away from Americano Original. And then Americano hit the headbutt to get the victory there. A lot went into that main event. I would like to see more women matches taking place on these weekly shows. Moving over to Impact, it kicked off with Ariana Grace picking up the victory over Jody Threat to retain the championship. Lillian Garcia was in the crowd, so that was cool to see. But Tessa Blanchard showed up, Victoria Crawford, Mila Moore, Danny Luna came out to watch, Indy Hartwell, Lei Ying Lee, Zaya Brookside. Ariana Grace attacked Jody Threat from behind to start this match, but Jody Threat, I would say, controlled the majority of it, and she took Stacks out. She and Ariana Grace got into a tug-of-war over the Cobra, but due to a prior injury, her ribs were too hurt, And Ariana Grace was able to roll her up and get the victory off of that. You had the Elegance brand come out and speak. Ash by Elegance wasn't there because Mickie had called her a mark. So Heather and Em yelled about Mickie James. They addressed Mama June, who was there. I think she has a new reality TV show to promote. I could have sworn she was a heel, but she was a baby face on that night. She was getting chants and everything, which is absurd. ODB then showed up, which I thought was awesome. I popped for that. And they went back and forth with the Elegance brand. Elegance brand challenged her to come get some. She takes them out, and I believe everybody dumped baked beans on Em and Heather, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it was just barbecue sauce or actual baked beans. You had the System pick up the victory of the Righteous, BDE, and Rich Swann, and Sinner and Saint to become the number one contenders for the tag titles. This was a good match, some fast-paced action, a bit of chaos. In the end, though, Bronson tags himself in, took out Vincent, and then he and Brian Myers took out BDE and got the victory there. You had Moose and Alicia Edwards come out, completely unrelated to the System winning the number one contender slot. The Atlanta Falcons were sitting ringside, and Moose put them over. His family used to play on the team. And Moose said that he's going to take the System out one by one. And he's going to start with Cedric in Atlanta next week, an Atlanta street fight. And Alicia spoke, and she said that she was going to walk. But because Moose convinced her not to, she wants to stand by him as he takes out the System one by one. You had Elena Black pick up the victory over Mara Sade. Elena Black took a chair into cheat, which was really just a distraction from the referee. And when the referee was dealing with that, turned away from the match, she goes into a turnbuckle. A turnbuckle pad, I should say. Takes out Brass Knucks, and it looked like Mara Sade was about to escape getting attacked with the Brass Knucks. She had her up. She had Elena Black up for a move, and Elena Black, while she was up, rocked her with the Brass Knucks, got the victory there. Frankie Kazarian hosted his talk show, and he mentioned being in Georgia recently, a few weeks ago, celebrating AJ Styles, but he feels dirty being there. He is not a fan of Georgia. His guest was Elijah, and Kazarian put over the guitar case casket match that he had a few weeks ago. Kazarian also brought up how he's a Grand Slam champion in TNA, and Elijah has not done anything. And then you saw the hometown man come out with AJ Francis. They were in a segment earlier. It led to brawling. They brawled to the outside, or I should say into the arena ball. AJ Francis chokeslammed hometown man into the crowd. That was the end of that segment. Leon Slater, main event, picked up the victory over Nick Nemeth to retain. This was a very fun match. Ryan Nemeth got involved, which allowed for Nick to hit the Famouser. Leon Slater kicked out. That Blue Thunder bomb that he hit was incredible. Really, really nice. That Leon Slater hit. He went for the Swanton 450. Nick Nemeth moved out of the way. Nemeth went for a Famouser again. Slater catches him, hits a Styles Clash. I popped for that. Everybody in the crowd popped for that. He went for the 450 again. Nemeth gets his knees up, but eventually he did hit the 450 Swanton. Like I said, this was a fun one. After the match, Eric Young attacked Leon Slater, hit a pile driver outside the ring. And then to close this episode of Impact, Mike Santana showed up and addressed what Steve Maclin did to Tom last week. And he mentioned how both of them have gone to bat for Maclin time after time after time and said that you can't save everyone. And he called Santino out to reinstate Maclin so he could beat him. And then Daria Reyes showed up and she put over Maclin. She reinstated him. And she said if or when Mike Santana faces Steve Maclin, it's going to be up to her. To which then Santino came out and was like, nah, bro. Sacrifice. Match is made. Steve Maclin, Mike Santana. So, Maclin, feast or fired, wasn't fired. He's back. Reinstated. So, that was Impact. Hey, Brennan, got any shout-outs?
I'm Louie Anderson, and survey says Brandon shout-outs.
The first shout-out goes to what you spoke about, you marked out for last week. Scrubs is back on ABC. It's on Hulu the next day. It's been off the air for, I think it's 16 years, and it returned last week for season 10.
Yeah, just incredible. I used to always watch Scrubs back in college and stuff like that. I did fall off of the later seasons where they were introducing so many new characters, like season 5 and 6, I think.
What do you mean 5 and 6?
What was the last
10?
Oh, so I don't know.
Season 9.
I don't know when I fell off.
Season 9 is all the new cast.
Okay, so maybe I fell off.
I liked season 9. I understand why people didn't, but I would have preferred for them to have released every episode at once here. But I'm just happy to get more episodes of Scrubs.
Really? I don't know. I love that it's not every episode at once.
I don't need to not have every episode at once.
I like it like this. Let them air it on TV.
Well, I mean, that's what they are doing.
Exactly.
And honestly, it's
totally
like no time has passed. That's like a very good thing for Scrubs.
Yeah. I mean, the jokes are the same. The flashbacks and the dream sequences are the same.
I don't know why Neil Flynn didn't return, though. So hopefully they get more seasons, and hopefully he'll get to be on.
I believe he probably will appear at some point.
I don't know.
I just don't think that he's been on the show yet, but I think that he is going to be
I feel like
there.
they said in interviews he's not in this season, so
I don't know.
My second shout-out's going to a brand new show on Netflix. Came out last month called Strip Law. It's an adult animated show about a law firm in Las Vegas. Adam Scott, Janelle James, Stephen Root, Shannon Gisella, and Keith David star in it. Adam Scott's character has to start his own law firm after basically being kicked out of his mom's firm after she passed away. So he has this, like, a bunch of, like, maybe not so, I'll say it's an unorthodox team helping him out at the law firm. And he has to take a bunch of odd cases. But I would definitely like more seasons of this show. I've laughed out loud during this, so hopefully we get more episodes. It's all out right now. I think there's 8 episodes. Maybe there's 10 episodes. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But I would highly recommend it if you like adult animated cartoons. And it's not like a weird show. Strip Law is just because it's Las Vegas Strip. When I first heard the title, I was like, wait a minute, is this about what I think it is? But no, it's literally Las Vegas Strip. So I would say
adult animated shows.
What do you mean? Family Guy, South Park?
I mean, nothing
fan?
recently, then I'll say.
Well, if you're into that, I would check it out. My last shout out goes to Neil Sedaka, who unfortunately passed away last week at the age of 86. If you're not familiar with him, he's had so many songs like Oh Carol, which was written about Carole King. He used to date her. Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, which he had a hit in the 60s, and then again in the 70s when he slowed it down. Calendar Girl, Solitaire, Stairway to Heaven, Bad Blood, which he did with Elton John, Laughter in the Rain. So many songs. It's hard to pick a favorite. Billy Joel accidentally used Laughter in the Rain to write Moving Out. And then when he was playing it for the band, they're like, that's Neil Sedaka. So he had to change the melody of that. So you could, if you listen to Moving Out, you can kind of hear Laughter in the Rain there. But Neil Sedaka had songs that artists like Cher sang, Connie Francis, The Monkees, Captain and Tennille. Some of the biggest names, Elvis, Frank Sinatra. Truly one of my favorite musicians. And I wish I got to see him perform live more than I did. I saw him in concert twice, and I met him at a book signing event, which he performed, I think it was 2 songs at. It was from his children's book. And he was incredibly nice. I got my 8 CD set signed. I was like, I know they said just the children's book, and I specifically waited to go last. And I pulled out this giant, it's like a giant 8-disc set. And he's like, oh my God, of course you'll get that signed. He was like so nice about it. And he was so happy to see that. He's like, well, how do you even have this? And yeah, and I really feel like if Markin Out was around back then, he would have done a bumper for us. But during COVID, he would do daily mini concerts on YouTube, which was just like great to see. It was like have like some sort of normalcy. I would highly recommend everybody going to go look at those concerts. He would do like 3 songs per video. And it's literally like, I don't even know how many, if he's like 2 years, 3 years worth. So I hope everyone goes out and looks his music up. He should have been inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame years ago.
I'm surprised that he's not. Is he not?
No,
Wow.
not still not. And we're getting.
That's crazy.
They just announced Hall of Fame inductees coming up, so hopefully they
crazy.
could put him in there. I feel like they miss a lot of musicians who deserve to be in there. It was also crazy. Carole King put out a post with audio of her and Neil Sedaka when they were teenagers singing a song, and it's like, it's so crazy how young their voices are. So, like I said, it's unfortunate. Go out and look him up if you don't know him. Listen to his music, study him. He's like literally 60s pop. But those are my shout outs. Now it's time for our
Mark Out Moment of the Week.
That is right, our Mark Out Moment of the Week. What do you got?
I think I marked out for Scrubs being back for sure.
I mean, you said that last week.
And marked out for Danhausen. What about you?
Well, last week when I spoke about WWE 2K26, I thought we were going to be seeing a lot more from that ratings reveal that they deemed to have surprises. It ended up just being, to me, a dud. But they announced that Jelly Roll will be in the game, so I'm happy about that. He's in Season 4. And then a press release was put out this week saying Pagano and Lady Shani are also in the game, which are names that we didn't know were going to be in. But Lady Shani's going to be in Season 4. I think Pagano's in Season 5. And then we later found out on Monday Night Raw that Demolition will be in the second season, Crush included. It was announced this week that Axe and Smash were going to be inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, very deserving for them to get in, especially for their just influence on tag teams.
I think I saw them wrestle once at PWS, and then they managed and kind of wrestled at that Citi Field wrestling event that I went to. But I'm very much so looking forward to having Demolition, especially that theme song in 2K26. The rollout, though, for this game has been awful. And I understand people being pissed off with the DLC. It's like Demolition people are pissed at because you only get 4 slots in a pack in a season. There are 3 slots right there. In a perfect world, we could have seen Atom Bomb be included there as well. And then we get like Chronic as Persona cards. That's super far-fetched. But I feel like I shouldn't not know the full DLC the day before we record.
Mm-hmm.
They did announce a bunch of DLC. They announced Matt Cardona making his debut in the series, I should say. So obviously that's awesome. Brian Pillman's in the 3rd season. Both of them are. Laparca is in the third season. So I'm happy that we're getting him. Octagon Jr.'s in the 6th season. Brie Bella and Bam Bam Bigelow are in season 5. Tori Wilson is someone who has been, I don't want to say a reason for death threats, but a lot of people have for years they've been not so kind to the developers of 2K for excluding Tori Wilson, which is just ridiculous, but I'm happy to see Tori Wilson finally in the game. There's more DLC to be announced. At the time of recording, we don't know. I don't know. What I think happened, I think AAA was originally supposed to be in the base game. And then maybe a bunch of stuff fell through, led to them needing DLC, and they all got moved from the game to DLC. Which, like I said last week, it sucks that they're not just in the base game. You got to work for it each season. And to me, the only people announced who should have really been DLC right now, really Jelly Roll, Matt, Brie Bella, Demolition, and Bam Bam. I don't think the AAA is DLC.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very weird because each pack is just like beyond random.
Yeah.
Like the first season was not random. The first season is AAA. What is Matt Cardona, Brian Pillman, Laparca, and who else was in that pack? I forget. What do they have in common? There's no... and Tori Wilson. There's just random packs now. But again, I'm happy to have all the AAA people. I just feel like we're getting ripped off. So, who knows? I'll have more update next week. I don't get to play the game until Friday. So, but those are the mark out moments. I assume you don't have any others, right?
Nope. Take it home.
That is episode 787 of Markin Out, Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at Markin Out, at BTTJ161 on all platforms. Chris Sweendog, CM Sween85, David PTDPT, Facebook.com/Markin Out, YouTube and Instagram, Markin Out 11. ProWrestlingTees.com/Markin Out, at Markin Out on TikTok. Danhausen did incredible numbers for us this week. Like over 7K views on a Danhausen video. So God bless Danhausen. You can rate, review, subscribe on all platforms. Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, markinout.com. And we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Have a